Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off starts. Oh, what a LeBron James with no regard for human life. 12 seconds. Bryant for the win. Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
What up, what up? Welcome back to the Sneaker History Podcast. My name's Nick Engvall with my guys Robbie Falchi and Mike Guillory to talk some kicks. What's going on, fellas?
Not too much, man. You know, ain't nothing to complain about on this side. How you doing, Robbie?
This is going to be really, really random, but I'm doing well because as I reflect, I think I'm now like 1 year straight of not buying any t-shirts. Just right around that time. I told myself I quit buying t-shirts. Because, you know, you always have an excuse. There's always an excuse to get a new drop or, you know, there's always an excuse. But I told myself no more of those excuses.
So you didn't go Kith Looney Tune today?
That's what made me think of it. I've had so many and it's like, you know, I have a Kiss or two t-shirt in the closet. And at the end of the day, it's a $75 t-shirt. It's done.
It's tough.
They do feel really good. I will say the quality of the Kith t-shirt is substantial.
Okay, but I give you that.
I'm sure a couple of us listening have at least one plastic bin full of t-shirts that is you don't even wear. So I have three of them. Yeah. So like, we need to chill. T-shirts. Support the t-shirts. If your friend's selling a t-shirt, ask if they sell a sticker. Ask if they sell.
You sell anything else?
Wait. Hold on. I gotta stop you now because we got. If you're on Patreon, you got to see a teaser of the upcoming Sneaker History shirt. So disregard everything Robbie said. Buy our t-shirts, but don't buy anybody else's. We'll even throw in free stickers. How's that?
We'll just give Robbie the stickers.
Do as I say, not as I do. Buy my t-shirt. But it does feel good, so I'm good. How are you, Nick? I feel like we don't ask how you are. No. It's always how are you, never how is Nick.
I'm good. I'm you know, this is like the craziest time of my life, so I've got, you know, everything on the brain, potentially moving, potentially new work, you know, trying to do all that at the same time. just still kind of getting over that little cough that I was dealing with. So I'm like, all right, I'm feeling better. And then as soon as I get set down and get ready to do something, the dog starts whining and has to go out. So, that's basically my life right now. Just taking the dog out. I'm just an on-demand dog walker.
Dude, I'm in that same boat right now.
Yeah.
And he's still a puppy.
I can't care. Yeah, I can't complain though. That's honestly, if I had the funds to allow me to do nothing but walk the dog, that's probably what I do anyway, because it's kind of a blast just seeing her figure life out. So, but so before we get into episode, what are you guys rocking? What are you guys looking at copping this week? Obviously no t-shirts, but I got my eyes on a few things this week, so I don't know if I'll actually pull the trigger. But what are you guys looking at?
So I am, I'm kind of looking at those Gary Payton-esque Jordan 12s supposed to be coming out. I like the color blocking on that one. Still been really rocking my same shoe when I go to the grocery store, the Jordan React. I just haven't taken it off or put it back in the box. But I do have something coming in the mail right now. I'm super hyped about because I got it for about $10 off retail, which is, and I was not saying a lot, but it was free shipping too. When I got the Viotech Air Trainer 1s, or Air Trainer 3s, I'm sorry, and I have them coming in the mail. They should be here either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Got some live stock up in Canada. There's a full size running $125.
I'm happy you didn't tell me, but that's really cool. I'm happy you got that.
I knew after we talked about the LeBrons that time, and I did it right after that, I was like, probably shouldn't tell Robbie about this.
Yeah, don't let me know. That's really cool. I'm happy to hear you got those.
He was super excited.
So I had a realization today. This weekend, excuse me. One day I wore my Concords, and then the next day I wore my Question Lows. And I had like deja vu while wearing the Questions. Like, am I wearing 11 still? And like, yep. I've always like told from afar that they look the same, but like looking down, like 2 days in a row, I really noticed it. So Jordan 11s and Questions. I've been so good about not buying shoes, man. With my please keep sending me stuff. I love gifts, but like me buying, I've been so good. DMP 6s is the last thing I bought. So,
damn, that is pretty good.
Man, that's good, man.
Holding strong. What about you, Nick? What's on the feet during the dog walk?
So today I rocked the Answer 4, the black and white colorway, like the original colorway or original black and white colorway. It's kind of been like I finally moved a few more pairs out towards the door so I could slide something else on, just because I was wearing the Air Max 2s all the time. And I was like, I could have wear something different. But, and then as far as like what I've been looking at, I'm with Mike. I like those like University Gold Jordan 12s. I don't know if it seems like everything Nike is getting pushed back. I saw the, CB2 or the Air Max 2 CB94s, the Barclays, like the black, white, purple colorway.
Oh yeah.
I have never owned that shoe. So that one's definitely on the watch list. And then, I kind of like the Bodega New Balance. I think it's the X Runner that just came out today, or like, I'm pretty sure it was today. I don't know. It's right around now. But I don't know if it's enough to make me pull the trigger on it, but I like the style of it. Kind of like a purple, what is it, like purple and black. I don't know. Kind of looks like an ACG shoe if it was a Nike, right? It's got that like just interesting overall style, which, X-Racer utility. It's got a little khaki, gray, brown on it. Just super dope looking shoe. But yeah, sold out this morning, I guess, on newbalance.com. But I don't know. I figure that's one of those shoes that, and a lot of the shoes that I like, I don't really feel like I need to get them right at retail, because inevitably people buy them and are like, I'm not really as into this as I thought. So hopefully that's the case with those, because might actually make the purchase on them.
Man,
but go ahead.
No, I could not agree with you more about the Air Max 2 CB34 or whatever the hell it's called. Like, I've never owned that shoe either, and I've always wanted a pair. So, like,
yeah. And then, get into another new release after we talk about a couple of the other newsworthy things. But I thought it was kind of interesting to see that Snipes is opening a store in Brooklyn, like their 2.0 retail store. And I just, like, regardless of the situation, I think it's super dope that sneaker stores are really, like, kind of, it seems to me at least, leading the like thought process for what retail could be, right? I mean, I know like Apple and Microsoft have their crazy like experience stores, but if you look at sneaker stores, all these retailers have, you know, like premium versions of the store or cool experiences. And I just think it's super dope that, you know, a company like Snipes, who's, you know, obviously a middle tier in terms of size of their business, but to step up their game and like go into Brooklyn with a new, you know, 2.0 store layout and experience, it's just super dope to see that kind of stuff. And just wanted to give them props. I've never really, I don't think I've ever bought from, I probably bought from them before, because they were they were a different name, but I can't remember what it was. But any news that you guys were eyeing that you thought was interesting?
Man, I hadn't seen anything really as of late. It's crazy. I feel like it kind of went radio silent when it comes to sneakers right now. I mean, there's things, you know, see about releases, but there's nothing really crazy. I mean, there's a second round of Space Hippies coming out, so kind of you know, maybe people who missed out on the first pair will be able to grab the second one, hopefully. But I don't know, man. What about you, Robbie? What you see?
Man, so I don't know how much I can disclose about the lack of disclosure I know. But my friend, who is friends with the designer who made the Space Hippie, got some crazy samples that he only wears around the house for chores. So I need to go visit him so I can see these shoes. I will try to describe them as vaguely as I can when I see them. But I was like, oh, you just like mow the lawn on those things? Like, yeah, I don't like wearing them like out. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's like personal Robbie news. But when it comes like the wider world of footwear, the Jaden Smith New Balance that we just got images of today, I don't know how much I'm feeling like the Megatron outsole, but I love him. Like I'm a huge Jaden Smith fan. Like I'm a Jaden Smith stan, if you will. Like for the shoes, I like the color, I like the uppers. I just don't know if I can get behind all the construction of them, but I was excited to see those finally have images dropped today. Today's Monday, whenever you're listening to this. But yeah.
Did you guys happen to see I'm with you, by the way, on the Jaden Smiths. I'm a big fan of him. The shoes are really chunky, so I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I do like the color though. But unrelated, did you guys see the was it Harry Potter K-Swiss? And they actually didn't do a retro shoe. They're actually doing like more of a performance tennis shoe. It's kind of dope.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I'm still looking at the Jaden Smiths. I hadn't seen that one either.
I'm not like a crazy, well, I'm not a Harry Potter fan by any means, really, but I do like K-Swiss, and I thought it was dope that they used a more like tech shoe as opposed to all the other stuff is just like, oh, cool, throw it on like your classic, or throw it on, you know, like whatever like trendy retro shoe is popular for a brand. That's the shoe they collab on.
Oh yeah, I see them here, dude. That's pretty cool actually. I like how the midsole looks like wood grain.
Yeah.
Looks like an actual tennis performance shoe.
If you put Nick's game, flip it down and reverse it, you have my thoughts on it. I love Harry Potter, but I'd rather be buried than wear K-Swiss. So
dang.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you said that about Reebok a year ago. So
no.
No. We'll convert them. Don't worry.
My parents bought me a pair of K-Swiss when I was like in 5th, 6th grade. And I like K-Swiss and Skechers, and I wore the Skechers over the K-Swiss. That's how much I feel about K-Swiss.
Wow.
Well, these are actually a tennis. Yeah, these are a tennis performance shoe. This is their Hypercourt Express.
Yeah, I think they look pretty dope. I mean, I don't know that I would. I don't know that I'd pull the trigger on them, but
yeah. It's a cool look at from a picture.
Yeah. So last bit of, I don't know if you would call this news because there wasn't really a whole lot of information on it, but, the Jordan Pack Nike SB Dunk with the, Chicago colorway, man, I don't know.
I mean, it's nice, but I think we're all pretty big realists to know that there's 5 pairs available, and 3 of us aren't getting them. So,
yeah, I mean, the other ones inspired me. So puffy tongues aren't really for me anymore. I like the sleeker, like this normal dunk construction. It's too far down the line for me to care about. Like, I've already missed out on 9 different releases. Like, cool. The 10th L, yay! But they're cool. They're definitely cool. Like, I would wear them if I had a pair. But again, cool news, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, what the?
See, I heard they released today, but I couldn't find any. Like, I didn't see anything about it. But then also people are like, oh, it's gonna be in the sneakers app. Couldn't find anything on the sneakers app. So there's just a bunch of pictures, and people have lost their mind about them. I mean, clearly it's a Chicago color block and a dunk. I mean, people will just start selling their kids for these.
Yeah, they as far as I know, they popped up on Size this morning.
Okay.
And sold out. So I'm sure they'll end up at other SB retailers. But I mean, any like classic Jordan colorway, especially one that I don't have, I'm all for seeing it in a dunk form. And I'm kind of the opposite of Robbie. I still rather have this puffy tongue on my dunks, but that's just me.
I have 4, so it doesn't fit right.
I'm looking for them now. I don't see anybody list them just yet on third-party sites. So let's see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll go for crazy prices. Everything Dunk has for a while, right? So
for sure. I mean, like the JPack Shadows are going for almost $300, and I'm like, yeah. When they were $140, I think I would have bought them, but I can't justify spending $270, $300 on a low top dunk.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Robbie.
No, I was just gonna agree with everybody. We're good.
Well, so I think that's a pretty good spot to transition, since we don't have any reviews to read this week. Definitely do us a favor, give us 60 seconds of your time, open up iTunes and just write us a review. Can be good, bad, indifferent, whatever. All reviews count. They all help us grow this community here, and that's what we're trying to do. So we would appreciate it if you took the time to do that. But today we want to talk about more dunks. So I'm going to toss it to Robbie because this is his bread and butter, so to speak, with the idea for this one, and I'll let him take it from here.
We're going to try to bring the energy. I feel like I've been super negative. It's been a slow news cycle. So I dug deep into the brain sockets, and I thought about some versus matches. So we started off doing a this or that on our Patreon. You should check that out. But then I thought about developing that into more of a style you might be familiar with from your Instagram stories. I know this is a popular practice of having like a tournament bracket. We're ditching the tournament style, and we're just going one-off battles. Sometimes it's more than one shoe included. Sometimes it's just a 1 versus 1. I do recommend you stick around to the end because I saved the best for last. So we're going to start off with an easy one that's a little bit it's a little bit harder than you would think. I've thought about it a couple times now, but the first example is going to be the Danny Supa Dunk Low from 2002. You know, the classic white, orange, and blue versus the Syracuse Dunk of this year. I need to put a little reminder out there that I am not taking into account whether it's a SB Dunk or a Dunk Pro, a Dunk Luxe, whatever it might be. It just has to be a dunk. Okay. So Danny Supa or Syracuse. Personally, I'm going to go with the Syracuse because I don't like mixed colorways. I don't like losers. So I'd rather have just the white and orange. I think it works with more color combinations. I'm going with the Syracuse dunk. What do you two think?
I was actually going in that kind of same direction as you. I like the fact that the Syracuse are just kind of just the orange and white, so that's what I was going to go with that. I didn't actually associate it with Knicks, since it, I don't ever think about the Knicks. So, I'd agree with you. I think it's just more wearable than the Danny Supa.
Oh man,
I like both, but I'm not going to wear the other one.
I mean, I'm like so far off on the other side on this one because the Syracuse dunks I think are just kind of like whatever. It's cool that they were like an original dunk, but the Supa, man, that colorway is just Knicks or not, like that colorway is just fire to me. And he was like, I mean, he was basically like the face of SB when it started. So I don't know, that's like honestly probably a top 5 Grail shoe for me. So nice. I'm going with the Supas all day.
And you can totally, listeners and Nick, go that route. You could look at the history behind it. You can look at what it's worth. You can look at the heritage. Personally, I'm just going for, if I had to go in my closet and whip one of these two out, let's say I know nothing about shoes, and I just see the two, I'm going to pick the Syracuse. Not every shoe I'm going to have that same mindset, but for this battle, I'm thinking just apples to apples. It's a dunk. I want the white and orange. So this next one, very similar shoes. It comes down to taste, and I think the heritage and history behind it plays into my choice with this battle. It's the De La Soul High from 2015, the remix, if you will, with the white base versus the OG from 2005. I like the OGs, not just because, they're the originals. I just think the white doesn't work. And when you try to go back and revisit, past motifs, they can have diminishing returns, if you will, bringing them back in a different look. I think you can't go wrong with the original. The low top original would be a good choice too, but I'm going with the OG highs.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I like dunk highs. I just prefer the lows, but I have to pick between these two. I would go with the 05 De La Soul High. I like the color combinations better. I think it just looks more creative than the rework in 2015. But yeah, if all is said and done, I would go with the 2015 low because it takes all those awesome colors from the first one and just chops off half the shoe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the white lows. I don't really like the brown. I mean, we talk about brown shoes all the time. The brown on the green base colorway to me just throws it off. And like Mike said, I prefer the lows most of the time when it comes to dunks. But there's some exceptions to that. I think that the color on the lows being more yellow was a better look than the highs tended to. They seem to have more like dark colors and like shadows and stuff, which I think I'd just rather have the lows with the more yellow. I know it's like varied because like the print is whatever different on every one of them, but
yeah,
can't go wrong with either one. But they're still a lot fun. So either way. So this next one, the Tiffany Low from 05 versus the Tip High. I think we're all unanimously going to go Tiffany Low. The Pigeon Dunk is known as being the shoe that really put sneakers on the map. for me personally, with the Tiffany Low, that's one of the like first shoes I remember being super excited for. Like wasn't a retro. Well, I guess the Dunk was a retro, but it was a new thing. So Tiff Lows, even though I might like the way the high tops look more, but low.
Yeah, I mean, you hit on the head though. And the low is just, for me, something. I mean, they look pretty dang close. Like they didn't do too many changes when they did the retro with the high, but I gotta go with the low.
Yeah, man. Tiffany Lowe's probably my favorite Dunk of all time. I've owned like 3 or 4 pairs of these over the years. I probably won't own any more just because people pay way too much for them, and I'd rather have $3,000 in my pocket than have another pair. So I don't see myself buying another pair, which, over the years, like that's kind of how I would just wear it until I felt like, okay, I better find another one before these are too beat. But I also love the way they look beat. I mean, that's the best thing about Dunks in my opinion. But the Tiffany's, like Diamond Supply in general, being, kind of like one of the outsiders who lurked the skateboard world, the skating world. Excuse me. Diamond Supply being one of the guys that kind of lurked through the skate world in San Francisco and went down there and watched guys skate, coming from Sacramento. And like, there's just a huge skate scene in Sacramento too, but I'm just not, my size 13 feet don't mix and match with a skateboard. So I can get around without killing myself, but I can't do much more than that. And, but Diamond Supply being from San Francisco and those guys, like I had like mutual friends with them back in the day. And, before they blew up and became this crazy, brand when they were just making hardware in the city. So that to me is like probably will always be one of my favorite Dunks of all time.
You've had 3 to 4 more than most human beings on Earth. So that's what's up. So this next one, obviously nostalgia is going to come into play, but I think look, if you will, it's a pretty even matchup. So we have the Ray Gun Lows, the OG pair from 2005, and the tie-dye pair from 2019. I like the tie-dye more. I think it looks cooler. If you're going to have an alien, Team Ray Gun was like a fake basketball team spearheaded by Vince Carter. If you're going to have like an intergalactic basketball squad, why not throw some tie-dye in there? Shit. So I think it was cool. I'm going to go with the re-release.
Yeah, I think you're kind of reading my mind on these, Robbie, because we're pretty much on the same page because I like the tie-dye a little bit better. It's not by much, but I just like that tie-dye adds a little character to the shoe, just a little bit. The shoe itself is, I think, classic in his own right, of course, but I would just like the tie-dye just a little bit more.
I'm gonna go with the OGs on this one. I mean, I'm kind of with you though. I like the tie-dye, but that like black version, that's the Away, right? Man, that shoe was just like so fire when it came out. I wish I would have been able to get a pair, but I would love to see these come back in highs. Actually, that would be super dope.
They're doing Air Force One next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're doing, and that one actually looks pretty dope. I'm not an Air Force One guy typically, but there's pictures around now of a Ray Gun Air Force One, and it's in the original look, not the tie-dye, so it actually looks pretty sick.
Okay. I could maybe do that. I don't really do the Air Force Ones, but we'll see. I that colorway I could maybe make an exception. Does it have the stitching, like the logo and everything stitched on the ankle?
Yeah, supposedly. So I'm actually trying to pull it up right now. Yeah, has everything. I'm going to send it to you so you can see it. But yeah, it has everything stitched on it. It looks like, how people were taking Dunks and stitching on Air Force One bottoms. It looks like that was exactly what that was.
You know what's crazy about the Ray Guns, that when I look at them, I almost never like Dunks with a black midsole. But for some reason, that shoe is like the exception to the rule.
Yeah, I guess I never really look at ones with black midsoles. I guess it didn't happen as much. But Interesting.
I think of it as like the Vans white wall. This looks better in white than it does in black. And I think Dunks carry that same kind of flaw. It could be a flaw, could be a benefit, but white typically does look better. This next one, I'm not a big fan of white and black, like, Orca, like Kobe's, and outside of Concords, they're just a white and black shoe. I'm not a huge fan. That's why I'm not going to go with the Panda Pigeon Low from 2019 over the Staple Pigeon from 2005. You're probably thinking that's a dumb reason not to pick one of the most iconic shoes of all time. I mean, to pick the most iconic shoe of all time. But I mean, I never thought the Pigeons were all that cool. I mean, the heritage behind it and, shutting down New York, that's all very awesome. But I never really loved that shade of gray. Like, it's just not for me. But I don't like Panda when it comes to shoes. I'm still with the Pigeon.
So, I mean, I like the 2005 Pigeon better. I like gray. But also I just have a bad taste in my mouth from the Panda lows, because that was just one of those mini losses I got on the sneakers app, and my brother out in Sacramento actually won them. I was like, well, and he never really used the sneakers app. That was like his first time doing it. He won, and I've just added another L to my collection.
I mean, without looking at prices, I'm going with the original all the way. Now I'm going to throw a curveball at you guys with this one, because we do have the black pigeons, and then there was also the quote purple pigeon dunk, right? Which was not a pigeon dunk, but people called it that because it was close.
Yeah. If
you throw those two into the mix, do they change your decision at all?
I would consider purple pigeon.
Okay.
No, I'm staying the course.
Yeah, me too. The black pigeon dunks were pretty nice, though. I mean, I thought they were. I think I do appreciate the story behind the pigeons and what it did for sneakers so much, though. Like kind of launching that conversation of how do we make something that represents your city, right? And I think the other thing that was really cool about that is that Jeff was able to, take that colorway and spin it onto other collabs. And I think a lot of people kind of criticize him for sticking with that colorway, but I also think that that's kind of a cool way to do it when you have such a strong attachment to, one, New York City, two, one of the craziest sneaker releases of all time. And then I also really appreciate that he still thinks of, the various kind of, pigeon colorways, I have like a couple of pair of like the New Balances, right? The black pigeons and the white pigeons. And the fact that he stays the course with like keeping it very, very similar in the same way that the birds always have a very, very similar color palette, which I just like that.
Storytelling's always great on those. So I appreciate all of them. I think I just like the grays a little bit more. Like I said, this is me, but the black one was solid. I just mad that I guess I can't be mad. This is how it goes. Just on those latest two, the Panda pigeons, and then the black one's just like, I just don't see why the prices are that high on them for the color scheme. They didn't just do anything special for me.
That's a really good point, Mike, because so often we see a re-release or a follow-up to a collab be substantially, less popular. Obviously, the difference price-wise is in the thousands between the first Staple Pigeon and the Panda and the black pigeons. But still, typically a follow-up doesn't get that much shine. And that speaks to the power of Jeff Staple, and that speaks to the power of the dunk, right? And how we're having a whole list of them. They retain their value. They may dip for a little bit, but if right now is an example of anything, it's how things from the past come back, and now dunks are even more popular than ever. So I think it's all a really cool story when you look at it from a wider lens. Now,
yeah, I agree. And just one last thing. I think it's also super crazy to think that, I can't imagine making something, like a sneaker to begin with, but to like for talking about Jeff Staple and these dunks, the price of these dunks is like, $15,000-$20,000 regularly now, which is even more just unbelievable.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, that's kudos again, Jeff Staple and his storytelling, because good Lord, I just couldn't imagine paying that much money for a shoe. Especially again, we talk about dunks being very basic shoes for selling for $100, and people are going to spend tens of thousands of dollars on it. That again, pure storytelling and being a part of a moment is why you're buying that.
All right. So next up on our list, I think this becomes the first true battle, because I stopped doing shoes that are similar and that aren't, 18 years different than $1,000 in price. So the first one here, we have the Stussy Cherry Low from 2005 versus the Jedi Low from 2004. This is super duper tough. I keep going back and forth even as I'm about to give this answer. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but Star Wars has just cracked so hard the past 10 years. I've lost my luster. It's lost its luster to me. So the love for Jedis is circumvented by the love of cherry ice cream. Or is it more like a Neapolitan, right? Is it like a Neapolitan color scheme? But that, normally I would not go with that color scheme over a lightsaber, but I'm going to go with the Stussys. It's just so clean and, pristine looking. Like, it's just such a good looking shoe. So I'm going to go with the Stussy joints.
Yeah. I mean, typically I would go with like anything Star Wars related, but I just like the contrast colors of the Stussy. It's a hard decision because I look at both of them. I love the freaking neon shoelaces on the Jedis, but I just love this Stussy dunk, so I have to go to that one.
I mean, when I saw the kind of plan for tonight's show and I saw this choice, I was filled with rage, I think, or frustration, or disappointment, or I don't know. But I don't ever want to have to make this decision because, like, Stussy is absolutely one of my favorite brands. Like Sean Stussy still is like kind of like the California dream, right? Like just surfs all the time and designs cool shit. But also Star Wars. So I think today I'm going to go Star Wars and immediately regret it. I'm going to stick with it.
There's no wrong choice there. There's just no wrong choice.
It's just a choice that I don't want to have to make. Like,
can I have both, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. Since hearing your two explanations, I'm like, damn, I might have to go back to Jedi. But yeah, it's tough. I want to make some hard ones here. So this next one's really hard. I would think it's equally hard as the last. So the Paris Dunk Low from 2007 or the Freddy Kruegers that never released, roughly 2004 to 2006 is when they started circulating. But I think the Freddy Kruegers are the single coolest looking shoes of all shoes. So for as much as the Paris Dunks are worth, Freddy's are a couple, I think they're a little bit cheaper, or maybe they're probably neck and neck right now. But just from an execution standpoint and look, Freddy Krueger is number one all time. Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
See, I'm going to flip you on that one because honestly, I'm going to be in a very minority of this, but I actually don't like the Freddy Krueger dunks. I hate the stripes.
Oh,
I love the Paris dunks. Dude, I can't stand the freaking stripes. I don't know. I'm not a bitch, like huge stripe on my shoe guy, but I love the Paris dunks. I love like they have the different pictures, is really just kind of abstract looking at the art on it. So Paris dunk all the way for me.
I'm gonna go with Mike on this one. I don't like the stripes on the Freddy Kruegers. The Paris dunks to me are like amazing. But this is definitely a tough choice, even though I don't like the stripes, because that Freddy Krueger dunk is special. Like, actually, when I worked at StockX, we actually had one come through, and like I had to take pictures of it and like hold it in my hand because I was like, I'm never gonna see this shit again. So
that's cool.
But I'd still go with the Paris. But the thing is, like, as much as all these shoes are worth, I will just like to have the little side note. If I got Paris Dunks, like tomorrow, I would be wearing them tomorrow, like right straight to feet. That's how much I want some of these shoes, regardless of how much money I could get for them. Although I'd be stupid, but I'd rather wear them once, twice, 10 times, and then be like, okay, maybe I'll have to get rid of these and buy a,
the whole, you can buy like a whole house with that shoe.
Yeah, trade. Can I use these for a down payment? My house.
Trade you.
Now, the hatred towards the stripes are totally valid. Like, that's so true. But it just shows you don't have to have the Freddy Krueger blessing and write Freddy Krueger on there. You can just execute it well, and what it is. So it's like, these get a pass because the stripes are also meh to me. But the splatter, I'm in the same boat as Nick. If I got a pair of these would go right to feet. I wouldn't post them on Instagram. I would make people come roll up on me and probably try to rob me. So for our listeners, these last two have probably been hard ones. If you feel like leaving a review, in the review, tell us which one of these dunks that you would like. If you have the choice of any one of these shoes we're talking about, let us know which one you're going with. So this next one is two more heavy hitters. We have the For the Love of Monies, the FLOMs, if you will, from 2005, the high tops, or the London Lows from 2004. Man, these are two I would never own, ever. Like, so I'm taking that out of the equation completely. I think the London Dunk is too boring. If we're not thinking about money, even with like the heritage of the pack, I don't care enough. It's too boring. The cityscape on the heel is okay, but I'm going to go for the love of money. I like the print, kind of like, Mike was digging on the Paris print. I like the collage motif. I'm going to go with that money. Give me them dollar bills.
Yeah, you again took the words out of my mouth. I think the London Dunk, I mean, I know people are going to like think we're sacrilegious, but it's just too boring for me. I mean, I love grays, but at least with the Pigeon Dunk, there was like the pigeon on the heel. You have like the, kind of the contrasting pink on it. The London Dunk is literally just gray with a little blue stitching. So I'm going for the love and money. I mean, even though I don't like highs that much, I wouldn't say no.
Man, I don't know.
Nick's making the harder choices out here today.
Yeah, I mean, so I probably got to go with the Londons because I think I could wear it all the time, and I love the Flam for love of money, for love or money. But I actually personally would probably rather have the Livestrong version that came out, 10 years ago or whatever, than the originals, just because I like the color palette better. It's like the black and yellow from the old Livestrong collabs. But I think on this one I got to go with the Londons. Like, it's just super basic, but it's just just so nice.
Ah, man, see, yeah, I cannot agree with you on that, but to each their own. I'm trying to, but not happening, dog. So this next one's the Battle of the Beers. So we have the Newcastle Lows from 2008 and the Heineken Lows from 2003. And I'm going to go with the Newcastles. I've always liked Newcastle more than Heineken when it comes to drinking a beer. But I just think the blue swoosh works so well with the wheat and gold, the various hues of yellow, if you will. But it looks so good. The blue star, blue stripe, it works.
I'm going to flip that on you. I like the Heineken better. I like, again, more contrast to it. I feel like on the Newcastle, there's a lot of like wheat color, and I like how the green and white contrast with the red stripe. Oh, sorry, red star and red shoelaces on the Heineken. So that one's the easy pick for me.
I'm gonna go with Robbie on this one. I think the Newcastle is like definitely the better looking shoe. I could go either way on the beer. I'm not a big fan of Heineken normally, but I don't know. Like Newcastle's pretty solid. I think the the beer inspired dunks, because there's a few others, right? There's like the Black and Tans, the Guinness, like I think all of those have been like, if you could just have one category of dunks, all of those are done really, really well. And I think that they absolutely fit skateboarding, and that's what I love about them. But for, that's a ramble, but for this choice, I'm going with Newcastle's.
Nice.
All right. Thank you for agreeing. No, I'm just kidding. So this next one is a 3-on-3 team battle. So we have the Diamond Supply Co. releases from 2008. So the yellow canary, the white and black diamonds versus the Concepts, Red Lobster from 2008, and then the green and purple from 2018. I'm going to go with Nicky Diamond because as much as I loved the look of the lobsters, I just don't think they're wearable. The diamond packs are all extremely functional. Like the yellow canary is a little bright, but I think it's so bright that it works. And then white and black with a little bit of Tiffany texture in there is a home run to me. So I'm gonna go Diamond Supply Co.
See, only reason I won't go to Diamond Supply is because I felt like these were a watered down version of the original colorway. I mean, I know you want to do something different, but I feel like this was just the only Tiffany color was like the branding on the tongue tab and then the Velcro underneath the swoosh, which I wasn't a fan of that really. But I love the Concept lobster pack. I mean, I wear those every day until they fell apart if someone gave me all three of them.
I mean, easy choice for me. I'm going with the diamond, trio. I think Robbie said it. Like they're just the white and black colorways are just wearable. You could wear, you could see wearing either of those into the ground. I really like the lobster stuff from Concepts, but I don't know. For some reason, I feel like the multiple colors of lobsters, even though I know that they do exist in nature and they're rare and all that, I just feel like the story is a little more forced, I guess, where like the diamonds, you could kind of see it, if I could just imagine like walking into the diamond store and seeing all these colors right there, and it feels more realistic, I guess. I don't know. But I being a big fan of the original, I think, it would be super dope to have the full set of diamond dunks if I ever had the opportunity to get them.
I think it's like the point you made with Jeff Staple getting flack for using the same colorway over and over again. I think Diamond Supply Co. can get away with that and I get that it's based off of Tiffany Jewelers, but that color scheme in every walk of life outside of jewelry is that brand. So.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish there would have been more of that Tiffany colorway. I think because I like the Tiffany dunk so much, I felt kind of gypped when they got these other ones that didn't represent the past shoes as well. So I was like, and I mean, the Concept lobsters, I mean, it's Boston. They do lobsters. It's like, oh, okay, cool enough. I mean, I'm never going to see these different color lobsters, but I'll take your word for it. These are cool.
Yeah. To both of your points, yeah, the lobsters do exist and they're rare. So that does fit as to why there'd be a yellow, green, purple, etc. But there's other types of minerals out there other than just the diamond. So I think playing that angle into canary outside of the rarest green lobster on earth, for his lack of sense that there is behind it, it makes more sense. But whatever. Agree to disagree. This next one is going to be a polarizing one because I think old heads and new heads are going to be divided. So we have the Reese Forbes Denim Low from 2002 and the Cactus Jacks from 2020. I've owned denim shoes. I can say with certainty I don't like them. The one pair I still own, I do like. I have a pair of the black Levi 4s, and those are cool. But, like, the Cactus Jack, I like everything about them except for the laces. I like the bandana. I like all of, like, you know, the Parley print going on in there. I just like how loud they are. So I'm going to go with the Cactus Jack.
Yeah, to be absolutely fair, this is me like picking two things I don't want because I don't really like either one of them. But if I have to pick one, I go with the Reese Forbes denim. I really don't like the Travis Scott dunk that much.
I think when the upper is like, you know, cut out, rubbed away, whatever you want to call it, and you see kind of like that paisley bandana print underneath, it looks better. But I would go with the Reese Forbes all day just because I'm not a big fan of denim like sneakers out the box. But once they get worn and beat up a little bit, I really like the way they look.
Yeah. Huh. I have to agree with you.
This next lineup is going to be, I chose them because of the textures. So we have the Skunk High from 2010 and then the Strangelove Low from 2020. I smoke a lot of weed, so I'm going to go with the Skunk Highs. but they are really cool. Go ahead, Mike. They are cool.
No. I would say, yeah, they're both really cool looking. I feel like you get locked in with the Strangelove for like, this is a Valentine's shoe. I mean, I know you don't have, by no means you have to only wear it in February, but I just feel like that vibe, you get to lock into it. So I think the Skunks were more wearable and on a daily basis, let's just say, anytime.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Skunks is a easy choice. I don't like the materials on the Strangeloves. I just feel like they would look so raggedy so quickly because they're, yeah, even the liner. I mean, I know it's like nice and it looks fancy, but I'm not really nice to my shoes. So, you know, they would just look like the dog got a hold of them from me wearing them.
I was hoping to get one of you, but live to fight another day. So these next ones are like kind of what Mike was saying. Like, I don't want either one of these because fundamentally against what they're doing to shoes. So the Chunky Dunkies from this year, and I said the green Grateful Deads, but you can pick either one. I don't care. I'm going to go with the Chunky Dunkies because I saw my friend wearing them. Like, he legitimately wore them this week and got a fit off with it. Shout out to Claus. But, like, I don't like that shoe, man. It's like having to pick one, like having to pick two ugly ducklings. Like, pick the less ugly one. So I'm going to go with the Chunky Dunkies.
Yeah, unless I'm selling both of these, I don't want anything to do with either one of them. I guess, yeah, if I had to pick, because I don't, so it's kind of weird because I do like the Three Bears dunks with the fur on them. I would never wear them, but they're cool, but kind of the same deal. Like, if I don't want fur, although I don't want this cow print, I much rather not have fake bear fur, so I have to go to Chunky Dunky.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. Both of these are not really for me. I mean, I like some of Grateful Dead's music, but I don't like the dunks at all. And if I was gonna wear them, I'd wear the Chunky Dunkies just because they don't have the fur fuzzy up or whatever. So Chunky Dunkies for me.
I mean, if you wear them on foot with a pair of jeans, it is a good looking shoe. I haven't seen them actually on foot really until recently, and my mind changed a little bit, but yeah, not happening. So these last two, I think, are the hardest. So the first of the two, we have the Supreme Dunk Low from 2002 or the Supreme Dunk High from 2003. I know that there's only two Supreme Dunks Lows and there's three highs. So if you choose the highs, you can't pick one of them. So you get 2 of the 3. And I'm going to go with the high tops. I think if I'm going to go with a crazy Supreme dunk, I want the stars. I want the little, like, you know, this, what's a Dubray? That's what I'm looking for. I want the Dubray. I want, like, the whole, this orange, baby blue craziness. Those are the 2 I'll go with, the orange and the baby blue Supreme highs.
Well, you know what? I can never be mad at a little Jordan 3 with my dunk, so I've got to go with the dunk low. That's one, like, when I really started getting into shoes and just, you know, like, kind of scouring the internet. Like, that's the things you would see, like, the dunk low, and, like, yo, this is dope. And to this day, I mean, I will never have that shoe most likely, but I can always dream.
So, Robbie, you could always throw the red joints that came out in, like, 2012 in there.
Oh,
for the
yeah,
lows.
let's talk about that. Oh, yeah. Let's do that. I'm still high top though.
I mean, yeah, I'm going with the lows. Honestly, like I'm not a crazy fan of any of these shoes. I like the Dubray on the highs, but the one that I actually really like is the white cement low with the blue accents. I think that shoe is just chef's kiss.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally get how the stars aren't for everybody, but they're just so out there, it works. I just think that's the epitome of when Supreme's at its best. But
I have a random story now that I just thought of it. When I moved to New York to work for Complex, probably 2011, 2012, something like that, I ended up getting a pair of these dunks, the orange Supreme Dunk highs. I can't remember where I got them. I got them at like a consignment store or something when I was living in New York. And it wasn't like I couldn't tell right off the bat. Like now I know probably better than I did then, but I couldn't tell for sure if they were fake or not. So I picked them up. I only paid like $40 for them. Took them home and ended up like looking up and like, cause that's what it was. So like the tag inside, right? Like if you look at dunks, if you're like a old school dunk collector, right? The spacing between the date and on the tag is how you can really easily spot it. These were like worn out a little bit there. Like they were folded, like how the tag folds and creases in a weird spot. So you couldn't really tell. So I took them home and eventually did some research, realized that they were fake. When I left New York and moved back to California, I left them in the laundry room of the apartment that I was living in. So somebody probably picked them up, and I'm sure they're being worn because they were in pretty good shape. And most people probably don't even look twice to see that they're real or fake because they look pretty good from the outside for sure. But
nice.
Random story.
When buying fake shoes goes right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, speaking of fake shoes, this might be one of the fakest shoes out there in terms of just how many. I don't want to say everybody rocking these they're fake, but I mean, there aren't that many What the Dunks out there. So I had to get creative with this one. So I couldn't think of a shoe that really matches up with the What the Dunk. So I went with the 07 What the Dunk versus 11 total shoes. So pretty much most of the dunk releases from the past year. So you get the What the Dunks or the Safaris, Plums, Biotech, all 3 of the Jewel Swoosh Supremes, Syracuse, University Red, Brazil, Kentucky, and Champs colors. You get all of those shoes or the What the Dunks. I'm going to go.
So basically it sounds like Avengers versus Thanos right now.
Yes, the Avengers versus And I'm actually going to go with Thanos, the What the Dunks. So, like, I don't care. You can put 30 shoes up. And if it's the What the Dunks or the Freddy Kruegers, I'm picking one of those 2 shoes. So, What the Dunk.
I mean, yes, I want to pick the What the Dunks, but the thought of like, I think of like this weird realistic state of I'm never going to get them. So, I don't know. I mean,
you do. So obviously, you legitimately have a stack of 11 shoes or a stack of 1 pair of shoes.
See, we talked about this. I have this bad thing about quantity over just one shoe. Like, I want to be able to like mix and match. I have a problem, guys. All right. I mean, for the sake of argument, I mean, if someone gave me the option and price was an option, I would have to go with the Dunk.
Man, I'm for sure going all 11 pairs. No question.
See, it's the same way. I was like, I can just take all these shoes down here and just
you know how people are like, everybody's like, less is more. Nah, that's bullshit. No. More is more. Just back them up. I'm telling you, like, when I hit like 95 and I'm like about ready to croak, you guys just come catch me in a warehouse filled with sneakers, cars, like collectibles. Just bury me in there. Like it's all good.
Yeah, see, that's where it comes in. Like the hypothetical, I'm like, oh yeah, give me the one because it's $11,000 in my size. But the real life me, you guys know, I'll call you, say, hey, I bought 11 shoes for, way cheaper than this one.
See, you two make very good points, but 6 of those 11 shoes I don't care about. So the one, the Dunk? It has like what, 20 something pairs in it? Like
Avengers though. Avengers are better. Come on,
bro. Comic book movie time.
So just thinking real quickly, right? Like the Dunk's probably like somewhere between like 8 and 12,000 or something, right? So you're not getting anywhere close to that with the 11 Dunks, right? No. Like even if you throw the Supremes out there, you're still maybe $5,000 or $6,000 at very, very most.
Yeah. And those Supreme Jewel Dunks are just like $200 to $250 right now. Like nobody really wants those.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't really like the Dunk. I don't know. Maybe that's bad on me, but I'm not a fan of anything. Like I don't like the mixing of crazy colors, or I like the story, but I'd never wear the shoe, and that's what would make me choose the other 11.
Yeah, makes sense. I was like, no, never.
Stunting. Stunt.
Stunt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy it was hard for you guys. I wanted the last one to be a hard one, so.
That might have been the toughest one, to be honest with you.
I think hard for Nick. Nick had it easily, but.
Yeah, but I'm still like fuming over the Star Wars and Stussy choice that I had to make. So, no, that was a really good list. We should let's see, how could we do this? We'll figure out a way to put this on social and put it up there, or maybe we'll put it on Patreon.
So go join Patreon, guys. Go see it. Go check out the list.
All right. Well, that's just. I mean, that was just a fun episode. So hope everybody enjoyed that. Robbie, that was dope. Thanks for putting that together so we could run through those. Definitely let us know what you guys think of all these choices, where we missed and where we maybe did something right for once. But if you have a moment, head over to iTunes, leave us a review so we can shout you out in the next episode. And we appreciate everybody rocking with us. You can find me at Nick Engvall on all the platforms, except for TikTok, because they're apparently taking over the world. But no, just kidding. I'm still on there. I just never post. But guys, let them know how they can find you.
Yeah, Mike Guillory. You can find me on Sneaker History, of course. You can find me on YouTube at Mike Guillory, and then Instagram and Twitter at MadWatcher789. Robbie, where you at, buddy?
Yeah, you can find me at RAHBEE702.
Right on. We'll thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
See you.
Bye.
What up, y'all? This is Nick again. First, I wanted to thank you for listening to the Sneaker History Podcast. It really means a lot that you would spend a part of your day rocking with us. Before you take off, I wanted to ask a few favors. If you're looking for more content from the Sneaker History crew, head over to patreon.com/sneakerhistory. Our Patreon members get access to exclusive episodes of the podcast, our latest merch, giveaways, and much more.
You can become a member for as little as $5 a month, and it really goes a long way supporting the crew. Next, make sure you're signed up for our email newsletter. We share updates about the footwear business, some of our favorite finds and deals, and other sneaker-related news a couple times per week. I like to think of it as a one-stop shop for the sneaker game, or at least a work-in-progress one-stop shop for the sneaker game, if you know what I mean. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. Whether online or in person, social distancing in effect, of course, it helps make the sneaker community a better place, and you never know what conversation and opportunity might come from it. As always, we appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.